Hopefulness 2.0, May 9th. Yeah, 2 days that I didn't do it, so. Oh well, longest stretch that I've ever done anything, but I mean, I would say that it is pretty reasonable considering that the first day that I didn't do it was the last day of my training shift from last week. And then the second day of not doing it was the first day of the days off that I've had. So I consider it a reasonable success overall. I haven't even turned off the internet on the phone because I don't intend to have this video be too long. But tomorrow I'll go back, some more training in the day, 2 days in a row, and then the next 2 days will be overnights, which will be fun. It'll be set up to where I'm going in at like 11 o'clock at night and leaving at 4 a.m., which is pretty much when the train situation decides to stop running, which is actually 12 when they stop running and they start back up at 4. But now there's buses and stuff that also run in the area, but they're hour-long buses. So the last thing you want to do is get on a bus and then, have to wait for a half hour or, 45 minutes or potentially even longer because the previous bus driver decided to blast through the stop and not get there at the right time. And then the next one wants to run at the right time. So then, the bus delay between the two ends up being longer than an hour, and that would suck. So, currently making a pizza here. I've already made the dough. I made it yesterday. Let it sit. It expanded like crazy, and it's like it exploded almost. It was great. Cheese gonna go in the fridge. I got some shaky cheese now though, so I can put that on. Before I put that on, I sliced up the slices a lot thinner than usual. I've got a couple of things I need to do today. I think what I'm going to do is, so I got to clean this shit up. So I'm going to do that first at some point before I do anything else today. I need to get meds as well because I need to get meds. I've only got one left. And since I got to get up at like 9 a.m. tomorrow, it's a good idea to do it today. Now, it's only 3:30. I've already started my laundry, so I haven't waited on that too long. It's in the process right now, but I'm doing like pants and shirts and underwear and stuff. And I'm going to do another load soon with like towels and whatnot, sheets, pillowcases and stuff. I'm going to do this pizza at some point. I'll show it to you here. It's proofing at the moment. It's already pretty much proofed, but looking good, that's for sure. Most of my dishes that I had, I've cleaned and reused, other than the pan. I haven't cleaned that one entirely yet. Everything else has been cleaned and reused in some capacity or another. Obviously, sheet tray. I've already baked up quite a bit of chicken. I need to do one more load of it, though, because then I'll have no more to cook, and it won't be sitting raw in the fridge. I can show you the dough. Oh yeah. Look how bubbly it is. Letting it effectively ferment in here. So, I was rewatching Adam Ragusi's video about pizza bread, and that's where I was trying to find like his sort of like big recipe, and it was a big recipe. It was like 8 servings, and I'm like, okay, a little too much. But not a problem. I can kind of work with that. And then I was like, okay, what happens if I make a 100% hydration dough, and then I add in just enough bread flour and wheat flour to knock that hydration down a bit, to be a little bit more reasonable. And so I ended up on 500 grams water, 500 grams all-purpose flour, and then 100 grams of bread flour, and 100 grams of wheat flour. Seems pretty good to me. So that's what I decided to do this time around. I'm not using sourdough starter. I'm just going to kind of like avoid the sourdough starter thing from now on. If I want to make sourdough starter, I'll basically do what I'm doing now, which is, kind of make a higher hydration dough, but not 100%, because that's really all sourdough starter is when you start off is a 100% hydration dough. That's really all it is. It's just a small amount too. So what I'm gonna do here is potentially is like I'll make this pizza, and then maybe tomorrow I'll make another pizza when I get back from work. Probably not though, because usually I'm leaving, because like dinner technically starts like around 5:15, ends close to like 5:45 or so. That's when they stop effectively serving and everything, and then they just start packing everything up. And if there's any leftovers, they start putting them in boxes and stuff. And then I get off at 6. So, and then, doing it again. Now, the time frame between the second midday shift and the first overnight shift will be different. And I don't know how well that's going to work out. But today I'm doing this pizza. And if I don't eat that pizza dough that's in the fridge for a couple of days, then who cares? I'm basically, creating some sourdough starter, except I'm not starting with it. I'm just making the sourdough in a slow rise and slow ferment. And like the more that I've been thinking about the concepts of sourdough and stuff, like, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some sourdough again in the future. But if I'm gonna do it, I'll just use I'll use like a pinch of that, and then basically make a kind of sourdough starter, mix those in and then like let it sit out for like a day, and then go from there. I don't need to have a sourdough starter that's been sitting and being a thing for weeks upon weeks upon weeks, and then potentially have the issue that it had last time. So that's a thing that I'm not going to do anymore. I'll have stuff in the fridge for the most part. I think that's the route I'm going to go. I think I'm just going to have some kind of fermenting dough of higher hydration sitting in the fridge. That's about all I really need to do when it comes to sourdough starter. Because it'll be there. I'll be able to eat it whenever I feel like it for the most part. And the pizza that I'm making is pretty fucking simple. It's like you use that dough, you throw into the pan itself some olive oil, some pepper, a couple of spice herbs if you want. I throw in some basil and oregano. This is the way that Adam Ragusea puts it in one of his videos. And I like that. It's simple, and there's a reason why I use his stuff. And I will try to remember to put links into both of those videos. But yeah, I mean, I like his stuff because it's trying to simplify it. Like I said, I think he has ADD. If it hasn't been diagnosed, maybe he should. I don't know. But it feels like that might be the case. Nevertheless, Claire's stuff is really cool. I do want to remake, there's a reason I bought milk. I want to make some more pastry cream. Once this job stabilizes and I have a better idea of what I will be scheduled to do each week, or at the very least, when my days are going to be off, then I'll probably go into that route. I also don't have that much money, which sucks. Like, I looked at my bank account, I think it was like earlier yesterday, and I had like a total in my bank, like not even $300. And I was like, what the fuck? Or it was somewhere around $300. I'm like, where did another $1,200 go? And I was like, wait, did I not move it from my Fidelity? So I went to Fidelity, and it was there waiting for me to move it. So I moved it over into my Wells Fargo account. So now the vast majority of my money is sitting in my Wells Fargo checking account. I'm like 1524 right now, which means I have June to pay for, and then that's it. Fuck. That whole one paycheck away from being homeless thing. I'm back to it. But, then I'll start ideally looking for something that's closer. Because, even if I was paying exactly the same amount of money that I'm paying right now, but let's say I was living 4 blocks down the street from work, I could really make that work. Because then my time wouldn't be as constrained.